Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter!
The Black Lives Matter St. Lucia chapter took the opportunity to not only speak on police brutality and accountability, but rather the current state of emergency that almost put a damper on the day's proceedings. Mother of the late Jean, Allison Jean, made a plea to St. Lucians to break free from submissiveness and speak up when and where it counts.
We have to understand what the state of emergency legislation does to us. It suppresses us, it restricts us. So the police commissioner had no choice, but he could not approve it because it would have overwritten the state of emergency legislation. It is for the Prime Minister to come out and say exactly what he wants, whether he's supporting or not. You cannot be supporting on one side and then a law restricts us from protesting, from airing our views, from airing what is within us, right? So they need to come out and state and look closely at that state of emergency. And we in St. Lucia need to see how our lives are restricted, how our freedom is restricted as a result of the state of emergency.
Several justifications were made for the extension of the state of emergency. Chief among them is the retention of Cuban medical professionals and the broad flexibility required to respond to a dramatic increase in COVID-19 cases. Je characterizes the extension of the SOE as a chokehold on civil liberties.
Our constitution is held on its neck. We cannot breathe as a result of that state of emergency. But at the same time, you see people roaming the streets, you see people sitting at restaurants, and you're wondering whose life matter, whether it is one set of lives that matter or all set of lives that matter. Our lives matter, and St. Lucians, it is time we wake up. We have been taking nonsense for too long, whether it is in St. Lucia, in the United States, in the rest of the world. Stand up, St. Lucia.
The protest was in doubt given that the state of emergency bans mass gatherings. Leader of the opposition, Philip J. Pierre, says the freedom of assembly was uppermost on the minds of the opposition during debate on the extension of the SOE to September 30th.
We have a right in St. Lucia to congregate. The Constitution gives us a right to congregate. And that's what we said. When the state of emergency was extended, that was a reason that we thought that the government was trying to subvert the rights of people to congregate. You think it's their right, they congregate and they demonstrate all over the world, and I'm happy that a few brave people have chosen to do it in St. Lucia.
Although the police have been hammered by critics for the denial letter signed by the acting police commissioner, deputy political leader of the SLP, Dr. Ernest Hilaire, insists that according to law, the buck stops with the Prime Minister.
The competent authority under the state of emergency is the Prime Minister. So forget his post. If he wants this event to take place, he can authorize it because he is the competent authority under the state of emergency, not the Commissioner of Police.
Acting Deputy Commissioner Police Wayne Charlery was peppered with questions about the fears expressed by civil liberty and human rights groups about the possible abuse of the state of emergency.
I would not say go to the extreme to say that the police force is being used in a biased way. I believe that we know our job, I can tell you, and we are very impartial. I've always said preservation of the peace is key.
Some quarters of society have been agitating for a revision of the SOE on a monthly basis based on the island's management of the COVID-19 crisis. Violating the state of emergency could result in a jail term of months and or a fine of $1,000. Sula Alfred, HTS News Force.